Hi, photo students. We're entering week 6, day 1. By today, you should have images shot for your Long 2 assignment titled Noun. This is the assignment where we're making 3 triptychs. Now, please follow the instructions closely on our Long 2 doc for for what to do to edit your images for this assignment. I want these images edited and posted to an assignment page for Long 2 on your WordPress by next Monday. Now, we're going to introduce the next assignment, Long 3. It's in 3 parts, and I want to introduce this because it's going to be in stages, and the first stage is going to be kind of short and much quicker. So I'm going to have that due this week by Thursday. Let me go ahead and show you. Our Long 3 assignment is going to be called Emulate as Reinvention. And this week, our first assignment, or portion of this assignment, due Thursday, which is week 6, day 2, it's going to be some research. I have a reading here that is not required, but I advise you to read if you want to dive a little deeper into the subject of art and photography. But this week you're going to choose an artist to research. I've created a lengthy list of significant photographers and artists who do photography. And I want you to choose from this long list of artists, these names here, of current and past, currently living and not living photographers. Now, the initial part of this assignment is going to be research that you do on this artist, and I want you to make sure that this is an opportunity for you to experiment with the blog portion of your website. So let me show you what I mean by the blog portion real quick, and then we'll come back to this assignment. Now I'm in my WordPress. I'm in the back end of this WordPress, and you'll notice we've been working with site pages, but blog posts here, I want you to start your research by using one of these posts. Now, a lot of you have websites that somehow have a home page, maybe have some kind of brief image and text, but you'll notice a lot of your websites have some kind of blog portion. You can think of this as news as well, but our blog portion here is going to be significant in terms of archiving posts by date. So if I go into this post, you'll notice that most posts are going to give you a date of when that was posted and who posted it. Now, that's significant for people who use websites like this as a diary or some way of disseminating news. That's a feature a lot of people want because they end up subscribing to websites. Now, rather than diving too deeply into that, you can look into what blogs are some other time if you care, but it's a good place to start doing some research and figuring out what your site is capable of. Now, if I go back, I just want you to notice that this is different from a page. It's a post, so if you add this as a post, it still gives you the same layout for creating the content. It's just going to be a post instead of a page. Now, going back to our assignment, my main goal of this assignment is to have you look at the work of other artists, be inspired by those artists, and find artists that you start to identify with. This, for example, is an image of an artist named Alex Soth called Oh Christmas Tree. He's on the list, and he may be an artist that you somehow choose to identify with, and through research you get excited by. And I want you to dive into figuring out how they do their work, why they do their work, and what their methodology is behind their work. So I've listed here on your digital sketchbook blog, this is called a post, not a page on your WordPress site. I want you to identify the artists you're going to emulate, explain why you're interested in them. I want you to research the process your artist uses, identifying especially the form and content of their work. And I describe what I mean by form and content here. Identify the technique they use. For instance, a type of camera, the medium, is it color, is it black and white, is it digital, is it film, those kind of significant features of their work. Then I want you to determine the artist's working methodology. Example, does the artist start with an image they want to find, and then they go out looking for it, or do they stumble upon those images as some photographers do when they just carry their camera with them wherever they go? Now, this research again is pulling from a context of reading the text that I've provided here. Again, that's not required, but it's recommended. And then pulling from this data bank of artists that I've selected that I would like you to choose from, and doing some research. I'd like you to have at least 3 resources for your research. Photo books are amazing, and I would highly recommend it. And since you're a Harper student, you're part of what's called an iShare network, which is an interlibrary loan network of colleges and universities in the state. What's nice about this is if you find one of these artists and you want to check out one of those books, they will send it to you. And if you're anywhere near Harper, you can pick it up at Harper's library, and you have access to a pretty great resource of artist books and monographs of some significant artists that Harper itself doesn't have in its library, but many of the schools in the state do with larger resources and budgets. Now, coming back up again to here, just so we're all on the same page, by this Thursday, week 6, day 2, I want you to have chosen an artist and started researching their work on these terms. Of course, you can add more than this if you'd like to, but I want you to begin investigating them. We're going to move on from that portion to creating a presentation. I'll explain this next week. And then creating final images, where you're going to emulate that artist and then reinvent them on some level on your terms. So you're not going to just recreate that artist's work, but you're going to emulate them and see what you can add to their work.